I was recently asked how do I make black and white photos from the past into color. And it's an easy process to do. It's not very hard to do with the AI processes happening online today. It's pretty simple. It's just light reflecting off a black and white photo. Sometimes it comes out and sometimes it doesn't. It's just the shadows would play tricks with your eyes. That's what the AI does. Cameras in the past were big and clunky and very kind of hard to operate, and you would have to stick around so the light would reflect back into the camera. Cameras have changed in the past where there's different types all around the world. Not one camera was the same, and that goes for the film also, and how to develop those films in dark rooms. And the newer ones from the 80s, they were kind of different and clunky. Everyone had one, but they were all 35 millimeter. Now, everyone doesn't have a dark room, so it's more of a hobby thing. But your best camera, what was 35 millimeter, was a Leica, and not everyone has $8,500 in their pocket to go buy one. So I'm going to show you a practice I learned on my computer. This is an example photo from Winnipeg, and it's a girl, I guess, with her grandfather or father, who knows. But I'm taking the photo and I'm going to make it color, and I'm using one of the AIs that's not really free, and it's not really coming out as I want. And I have a free version, and this one came out really nice. And there's a bunch of websites you can go to, and here's one of them I find really good. All you do is you drop your photo in there and you download it, and it will come out as best as it can. It doesn't come out always the same, so there's a second website, a little bit better. You import it, and then what you do is you just grab it and slide it over, and you got the photo. You might have to rename it before you do more of them, and then you can, they're free. They're absolutely free. Now, this is the first legislative building in Winnipeg, the new one being built behind it, and I wanted it to be in color, and myheritage.com does give you a bunch of free samples where you can do it, and it comes out not that bad. Okay, I can't complain about that, but the problem is I would like to buy the program, but it comes with more features I don't want. I don't want to do my family tree through you, because I just want to use your photo handling AI, and I have to buy a bunch of other stuff to get what I want. And it's dumb, because if they would just do the photo thing, I'd pay $7 a month, $10 a month just to use their color AI program or their color repair or fix. Or here's a photo I used with them, and it's a black and white photo of two women. Now, I used a different program that's free, and it didn't come out that great, but with theirs it sort of came out really nice, and it's pretty crisp and it's properly done. The colors come out, and it's great for photos with people. The only problem is it's not really great with scenery. So the one problem I had with this old photo from inside the old legislative building in Winnipeg is it's dark and there's a lot of shadows, and it's really hard to color. And even the paid version didn't come out that great because the photo isn't great to begin with, and it's done on a very old camera, and you could tweak it back and forth. You can go to different websites. It's not going to come out how you want it in the first place, because the people in the background are still going to be blurry or yellow, so you're going to have problems wherever you go on certain photographs. Certain photos, like this one taken off the streets of Winnipeg from 1972, is really good because it's 35 millimeter. and it was color. And you can crop them down on your own computer and try to fix them up as best you can, because they are 35 millimeter and they're made to be color. And film is kind of strange because that negative always keeps that photo clear, except when you put it on a computer, it sometimes gets blurry. And don't get me wrong, these are all photos from 1961 on Portage Avenue, and the sunlight's perfect. Now, this is inside the Hudson Bay in 1957. It's kind of dark, moby. I fixed them up on my own computer on just with the normal Windows 10 film. I just made the photo a little bit smaller, cleared it up with their programs, and it worked pretty well. Now, you can pause and write the names down and look them up on the computer yourself, but these are 2 free versions. There's another one, it's not that bad. You can do 2 photos and you have to pay for the rest. I don't like it. It looks garbage. They don't come out. There's this Russian one. It's also garbage. I don't even want to mess with it. And this one would be better if they had not just a free version, but a cheaper version that I could buy just to fix up the film. I don't want to check my DNA. I don't want you to check my family tree. It would be a really good program to do, but they sort of are screwing themselves, and that's what I don't like about these companies. So hands down, Hot Pot has a whole bunch of different features. Some you need to pay for, but there's a lot of, like, on the sidebar on the right, left there is a bunch of stuff you can use for YouTube. You can make cards. You can go through the whole list of things there. It's pretty amazing what you do get for free and try things out. So take a look at that site. It's probably your best option. So this is Main Street in Winnipeg in 1879, and when you use a color AI program, it does clean up the photo quite a bit, and it's different than using a real paid program you download from your computer, because I don't know how to use those ones and I'm not about to learn. But there's some photos that they've been painted beforehand where to fix certain items inside the sky, so stuff doesn't come out properly as you want. Plus you will have a watermark if it's a free version. This is Winnipeg's first post office, built in 1901. The problem is with this photo is I don't know how the brick actually look like. So if I put it to an AI system, is the color right? I don't know. So you're always going to have this guesswork that, hey, what is the actual color of the building or the person's clothing? You're always going to have that. That's the problem of AI. So these photos were taken in 81, and of course the grass will come out perfect, but the buildings might not come out. But at least it's like a proper reference on the photo that you could see it a little bit clearly. And like Winnipeg's first hospital, the photo's kind of, it's nice, but when it comes out in color, it's still blah. You know what I mean? It's not there. Eaton's building, I remember this building, and it has a different deep red brick. It's not that light. It's darker red. So you can understand when you're looking at a photo of Portage in Maine in the 1800s that it just won't come out properly. This is Union Station in Winnipeg. This is 1922, and it sort of came out pretty well because the building is still there. I can reference those points. This is the next photo in 1901 when the Duchess of Cornwall came to Winnipeg, and it's the photographer's fault from being too far away from the photo, so you can't recognize their faces. And it's very hard to do this where, oh yeah, the person's getting off the train, and I know those train cars were that color, so it's got a good reference point. But you need like a proper photo, and this came out not that bad for Main Street, and that was in 1901. So there are some photos you're going to have luck with. This is the Legislative Grounds in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and the photo I got for free, colorized, came out not that bad. You know it's older and it's from the 1920s. But then there's another one from a higher vantage point would have had a longer film rate and it came out really nice with a paid version. So it all depends on the photo taken. If the photo's really clear, then the photo will come out really nice. And this photo looks really, really good. So this is Lockport, just north of Winnipeg, when they were building the power dam. And the photo's not going to come out that clear because the camera's very old. And older cameras have a problem that you can't take moving pictures that quickly. And sometimes it gets foggy. And this one here is a really cool photo of Higgins and Austin Street. Yeah. And I used the paid version, free version. It still didn't come out that clear. You know what I mean? So you buyer beware. So this was a fire would happen in Winnipeg a long time ago. Don't ask me where, but I'm using this as a reference. So if you're using white ice, it comes out like a yellowish, and it doesn't work for color because the AI can't really pick it up that well. Now, if it's a photo with Betty White and you're using like 1940s color, the picture is going to come out like a 1940s colored picture. It's going to be like this. It's not going to get any better unless you put it through a computer programming thing. The next one is like these workers in a factory here in Winnipeg, these ladies. I made them color, but there's problems with this photo because there's light coming from the roof. And, you know, you could play with it a bit. You can resize it on your own computer. And, you know, you could take a snippet or cutout of one person, which is really cool. So that's one thing you can do. I find that one a little interesting. I could do that on my own computer. The next one is a brand new photo. It's black and white, but it's highly AI'd by computers. And it doesn't come out because you can actually see they altered this photo. Okay, so it's a brand new photo. They alternate it by computer. So myheritage.com, you get a few free photos with watermarks on the bottom. I just want to try this out with my great-great-grandparents. This is a picture from 1915. It came out really, really well, but I had to make the photo a little bit smaller. And then what happened is I went to an AI process. The colors didn't come out exactly as I wanted it, so I went to myheritage.com, put it in there, and it came out really, really nice. And it also gives you a different version of it. So what happens is it gives you a version of that person's faces. So my great-grandmother's face and my great-grandfather's face. He's blind. He's been wounded during the war, so his eyes are a little wonky. Okay, if you didn't know that, you'd say, hey, what the heck's going on with my grandfather's eyes? He was blinded by a gas attack on the Russian front. He was fighting on the German side, and he was wounded. So this is one of my uncles who's no longer with us. He died in the French Foreign Legion. And what happened is I have this photo and I scanned it on my computer, on my printer. And I went through the AI process of making it color, and it sort of worked and sort of didn't. And I had to really fix the photo up, go through different shades of colors. It's very sunny in Algeria where he was. But I actually got a closer image of his face that I could put on my computer and send to people. This is how we look like. And, you know, I could shade it and play with it a bit. So this is my great-grandmother, and my grandmother's one of them. This is a photo in Berlin in a park taken by a Leica camera. And when you change this into color, it comes out really, really well. And the details pop and the backgrounds pop also. So you have to really have a good picture to take a colored, from a black and white to a colored picture. And it comes out really, really well. This is a photo taken by my nephew in 2021 of his two dogs. And perfect lighting and perfect setup. And a nice picture to, you know, keep in memory. But you can also use it in Paint, and there's a Paint AI where you could take photos of your dogs or loved ones and paint them in different paintings. What you could do is you could put them on a flash drive, a USB flash drive, and take them to a UPS store, and they'll frame this for you. It'll cost you like, $120. Sometimes a little bit more, a little bit less, depends how big you want it. But you have this as a loving memory, and it's painting AI. It's pretty cool. I like that, and it looks pretty neat. And there's one more AI that you can actually do is erase the person next to the other person. So that is like a blending AI eraser. Just make sure you keep the original copy of the photo. Don't lose them, and just copy and paste so you remember where they are. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a thumbs up. I'm Bear Lamb, Winnipeg History. I know it's not everyone's taste to see their town in colored photos, but no one's doing it on YouTube right now. I'm the only person who's doing commentary about Winnipeg history and changing photos from black and white into color. And I want to, make my opinion of my city. And if you have your channel that you're doing it to, hit me up. I'll certainly watch your channel. Okay, thank you now. You have a good day.